Good morning, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Wednesday, October 16th, 10 a.m. Mountain Time 2019. You're looking at the first snows coming into the East Coast. Yes, happening this weekend in the Adirondacks and maybe some other areas in New England. We just had a 6.4 magnitude earthquake strike the Philippines, which does not eliminate the 7 magnitude drought that we are now in for 3 months. Keep calm, it's boom time, you're in the right place. Earlier in the week, a foot of snow was forecast to bury crops in the Great Plains of Canada, and they did, buried. And it's cold. Ontario could even be battling huge storms and a hell of a lot of snow this winter, according to many sources. Early snowstorm buried North Dakota this week, including cattle and crops, and snow is ahead for the western U.S. mountains, which have opened for skiing. Heads up. 2 storms will bring mountain snow by the weekend to my neck of the woods. And this is with Denver going from 80-degree highs to snow. It's that meridional flow. Snow on Halloween. One weather model says it's possible, but big weather says global warming. And that's tonight's first BS boom, which actually morning. So brace yourself, Seattle. The big dark is coming. And when we mean big dark, we mean cosmic ray flux. It's not new that it's always dreary and rainy in Seattle. But a series of 6 weather systems is poised to roll into the Puget Sound region, bringing 10 feet of snow to British Columbia. And the big dark to Seattle. One after another, these events on its own is forecast to be problematic or spectacular, but together they signal the beginning of a long, gloomy, wet season known as the big dark, and it's coming. Doesn't that sound scary? Bomb cyclone to slow evening commute in the lower Hudson Valley. We're talking Wednesday through Thursday, strong winds, heavy rain, coastal flooding, rough seas, travel disruptions, power outages, leaf drop. Oh my goodness. That will lead to storm drain clogging and more flooding. Look at all the yellows and oranges up in Bangor, which is in Maine. It's insane. 15 degrees cooler Tuesday. Snow and wind arrive in the mountains this weekend. That's in Denver. We're just rolling through these headlines. If you want to read the article, check the links below. Season's first snow likely in the Laurel Highlands. This is the East Coast, the mountains of central Appalachia. Heads up, West Virginia. You've got snow in the forecast. First snow of the season for other parts of that region. Increased chance of tropical system forming in the Gulf this week, threatening potentially the coast of Texas, which is the nexus of the potential disturbance here. Disturbance number 1, 30% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours, 50% in 5 days. We're talking about a medium risk here. It's sitting just off the coast of Mexico there, right where the comet that killed the dinosaurs hit. I wonder if there's a connection. Now, we have the newest model for you this morning, showing you the next 126 hours of powers. That heavy snow moving into British Columbia, and then these systems moving south down into the Rockies, bringing event after event, and finally some snow to the southern mountains. It's going to be awesome. Also in the forecast, snow in the Adirondacks, and if you look further in the models, the snow moves all the way down here into West Virginia. We're only going out 126 hours this morning, and there are 126 hours of powers right there. Take a look. Ancient Aztec records uncover hidden earthquake threats. And this is a very interesting article. It's coming out from the Watchers, who obviously stole it from someone else. The Codex manuscript said that the earth cracked open in central part of Mexico on February 19, 1575. This was written around the time of the Aztec Empire lost to Spanish conquerors. The Codex features an account of a turmoil that lasted for 5 days, resulting in landslides and opening up a crack in the ground measuring 5 kilometers. That's a 3-mile crack in the world. Did you ever see that movie in the 50s, Crack in the World? Awesome. 2 quakes felt in San Fran area in a matter of hours, and they're not related, experts say, except that they're on the same fault system. They're not related. Nothing to see here. Philippines earthquake. Child killed and dozens injured as major 6.4 mag hits Mindanao Island. And we have the video with no audio. Let's do it.
Oh my God!
Lord Jesus! Lord Jesus!
Oh! Hello, look! Oh my God!
Can you imagine losing your life shopping in a mall? Ah, what a way to go. Thoughts and prayers go out to all the people affected in the Philippines, especially a child that lost their life. Now, the 6.4 magnitude has been followed by several aftershocks in normal fashion. These two moderate earthquakes near the San Andreas system here, which are not related, by the way, according to experts, are absolutely related, and they could be a series of foreshocks. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on this region. Hello, if you know what I mean. We're still in a Mag 7 drought. It's been over 3 months since we've had a magnitude 7 earthquake, and this peasily 6.4 does not help, does not cut it. So we're looking at a period in the next 4 or 5 days of increased seismic warning as we couple with a southern coronal hole with our sun. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that coronal holes are always earth-facing during over 90% of the large earthquakes that have been recorded on Earth. Worldwide volcano news update. Kapahue, Popo, Krakatoa, Shivalush, Tucono, Reventador, Sakurajima, which is Sakurajima, Nevados, Tichilan, and others. Nevados puffing to 13,000. Popo, 2 moderate explosions associated with incandescent fragments over the last 24 hours. That's a lot going on there. Krakatoa, nice little plume of action. Volcanic ash reported. You can't fly near there, so they have very limited information. Shivalush, exploding to 26,000 feet, is keeping up with the activity. Explosive activity continuing there. Sabancaya as well to 26,000 feet. No quake, no explosions of note. I mean, just normal activity. Coming over here looking at space weather, that 6.4 was kicked off by this BZ shift here. That massive shift, which brought the phi angle steadily into the 180 range. No other space weather of note. We're waiting for a coronal hole coupling. The southern coronal hole, which we can't even see here. Oh, we just don't have the bandwidth. Extreme snow stopped plants and animals breeding in parts of Greenland. Now, this is last year, and a paper coming out about last year's weather is completely opposite of what the global warmists were warning us about last year, and as recent as a few months ago. Now, the warmists are claiming that Greenland is melting away because the warmists are not scientists, nor do they care to check their sources or actually get to the bottom of things. They do what their boss tells them to do, or they're fired. So let's talk about the science, because we can't be fired from our own channel. Extreme snow stopped plants and animals breeding in Greenland. Yeah, increasingly extreme Arctic weather. Did you hear that opening sentence? Could threaten the survival of wildlife. Biologists are warning. In 2018, it snowed so heavily that many areas remain covered in snow well into the summer, and now it's snowing again, preventing almost all plants and animals from breeding. If this was a one-time event, it wouldn't be an issue, but it's the beginning of the new ice age, which is being kicked off by the grand solar minimum. So what we have here is proof that the Arctic, extreme Arctic weather could threaten survival of animals and plants in that region. And if it was a one-time event, it wouldn't be an issue, says Niels Martin Schmidt at Aarhus University in Denmark. Arctic wildlife can cope with occasional bad years. But they are well aware of what we are, that it's going to continue to get worse. And he fears that this kind of extreme weather could become much more common, potentially leading to the extinction of some Arctic species. And it could be a glimpse into the future. And I think that Schmidt might be right. Links will be below. Look at Greenland, covered in snow. And this is just through the end of October. Look at that. The West Coast is buried. The ice is building. Look at the snow on the U.S. This is November 1st. Yeah, 6 weeks from winter. 6 weeks from winter. I got people calling me, and I'm trying to sit on the phone so it doesn't bother you guys. New research suggests global ice age changed the face of the planet. Yeah, but this is 600 million years ago, and no one cares. Dutch family waiting for the end of time was discovered in their basement. Have you seen this story? A family was spent 9 years in their basement, like locked up, and they're waiting for the end of the world until one of the kids finally broke out and went to the bar. He had 5 beers and he said, I need help. You've got to read this story. So while one of them was up above, clearly, look at this farmette. Planting food and tending to the goat, the rest of the family was locked in the basement for 9 years. Totally sick. Similar to that weird old movie that was like that. Remember that movie with the family was under LA or something? And then they came up finally. There are 3 types of climate change deniers. Awesome ones, scientific ones, and totally awesome scientific deniers. And most of us are at least one of them. Now, if you read this article, it's crazy. It is, first of all, let's see who wrote it. Courts. Propaganda. There's not a single lick of science or information in this article. Nothing but a cacophony of fear-mongering statements, as if they took Greta Thunberg's, oh, there's her name right in the beginning, wow, speech and just wrote it down, and then took all the other talking points which have been disproven over the last year, even by the mainstream media. Things like hurricanes are increasing and fires are increasing. It's all bullshit. They're all decreasing. But, and if you read it, it sounds like all the best scientists and everyone, they all hate deniers, and there's different shades of it, and the most insidious form of denial. Yes. The third and most insidious form is the implicitory denial, which is what we're doing right here on the channel. We implicitly deny anthropogenic climate change, but we do not deny natural climate variability, which is called climate change. So we're not even a climate change denier. They've created words so that it's a circular argument that you can't escape from, which is called propaganda. Aha! The facts of climate change are not denied. No, they're not. Not even by your so-called deniers. I'm a paleoclimatologist. I can show you that graph after chart after chart after graph showing you that climate has always been changing. There's never even a moment where it stops changing. Never, ever. We can prove that climate has never not changed. So the use of climate change denial is beyond ludicrous. It's idiocracy. Anyone who even uses the term is an idiot, which means all global warming alarmists that say climate denial, they're idiots because they don't even know what they're speaking. They're mouth puppets repeating shit from their favorite multinational corporation that train them like little tiny puppets to say it based on zero substance. 98% consensus. I've never met a consensus of anything. So these are all short claims from short people with low self-esteem and terrible lives. Can you imagine if this was your job to lie on purpose? Oh my God. And then you wonder why people shoot up things and everyone's miserable on the earth while we completely decimate the biome and pollute it with pollutants when all we've been talking about is plant food for 5 years. Isn't it ridiculous? Everyone's dying of cancer. 30% of all children have autism or some other shit. And we're worried about plant food. The most insidious form of misdirection is lying to the public through a mainstream media outlet. Courts, you should be ashamed of yourself. Ian Walker and Zoe Levinston are about as smart as a piece of pubic hair that has already fallen off to the ground. Hope you got something out of the video. Courts is a rag. Learn for yourself. Read the article. Do not take my word for it. Do your own homework. Do some research. Stop asking me questions you can Google. Lazy people. Lazy people will not make it in this changing times. Use the resources you have now to prepare. Times are changing. It's going to get cold in the northern hemisphere. The power is going to go out. People in Manitoba had no idea the power could go out for a week. How stupid are those people? Don't be a stupid person.